glorious sunset, hey, Professor Chumley?
Absolutely ripping, Professor Pointe. There's nothing like an ocean voyage to brighten one's holiday.
So placid, so tranquil.
Yet, no!
One is yearning for home, however. Our arrival at the port of London being...
Wait a tick. 3.5 days by coach to Montenegro from Transylvania. 12.5 days by ship, Montenegro to London. We left November 1st. Today is the 14th. 2 more days before docking at Old Blighty. Not that we have much to show for our efforts.
No, really, Chumley, what did you expect? One can hardly deem our pilgrimage a scientific expedition.
We were doing our Christian duty.
We were hunting for vampires in Transylvania. I told you not to read that book. What the devil is that?
Another sailor's body being tossed overboard, I should think.
Blasted nuisance on a charming night like this.
Well, they're Russian.
Ah, yes. How many does that make?
Oh, 1 or 2 a night since we sailed. I've quite lost count.
I shall write a stern letter to the shipping company. The name of the ship again, Chumley?
Zavod.
For foreigners, they do have a charming language, don't they? Zavod probably means moonlight or courageous.
It means factory. How is your chemical process proceeding?
Satisfactorily, thank you. The secret is in the clotting.
Good evening, Captain Shuvalov.
Shuvalov. I bring to you your libations, professors.
I say, Shuvalov, that seems a bit below your station. Are there no stewards?
No, Professor Pointe, not any longer.
Well, buck up. It's hard to keep good health these days. You're the captain. I thought it a breach of etiquette.
No, thank you. These drinks are compliments of the Lord.
Lord? I'm somewhat baffled, Shuvalov.
The Lord? The Lord you brought on board?
That we brought on board? Stuffing nonsense.
The only extra item we brought was that coffin-shaped thingy from Transylvania.
We inspected it at Castle Dracula on the night of All Hallows Eve, and it was as empty as a prostitute's promise.
We returned in the morning and took it with us.
You took a coffin as a souvenir?
Well, we purchased more than our share of postcards.
We fancied something indigenous. It's just an empty coffin.
We did cough up the additional luggage charge. We paid rather dearly for the privilege.
Not as dearly as I and my crew have paid. That coffin is not empty, you fools! You poor, sad fools! Drink up and go to the cabin. If I had enough sailors left to guard you, I'll clap you in irons!
This is a very deep red.
I say, this isn't port, is it?
No, it's not port. Oh my God, I would like to kill you both!
Yet you have not done so. Seems a bit irresolute.
I am protected from the Lord. Before he comes for me, he will come for you!
Rubbish! Humbug!
Shuvalov!
Chumley, no!
Oh my giddy aunt, what's wrong?
This is blood, Chumley.
What type?
What type?
Well, I've never imbibed blood before. Is there a good year?
Good evening. I am Vasilica.
Delighted to meet you.
Charmed. Vasilica?
Lord Vasilica. Dracula.
Oh, I say, that is a coincidence.
Please, do sit down, Lord Vasilica.
Just Vasilica, please. I will detain you only briefly. This is a glorious night for a swim. Professor Pointe.
No, that would be me, actually.
And Professor Chumley.
Spot on.
I believe the code amongst British gentlemen is that assistance must always be rendered to a fellow gentleman in distress.
Quite accurate.
Why? Do you know one?
I refer to myself, Professor. One morning I go happily to sleep in my own home. I awaken on board this ship, manhandled, abducted.
Unconscionable. Not to be endured.
I agree.
Do you know the rotter who did this to you?
Ah, yes, that would be you, actually.
Pointe! You bounder!
And you.
Well, I deny that.
I protest, Vasilica. We did not abscond with your person. All we brought on board was a...
Whoopsie.
Whoopsie indeed.
I am most dreadfully embarrassed.
To be fair, though, how could we know you were in there? The coffin was empty when we examined it.
During the night? Of course it was empty during the night.
Well, if you're going to play hide and seek in a coffin, it's hardly our... It's not... we... Oh.
Exactly. I thought perhaps this was a pleasure cruise and the ship would eventually circle back. Where are we bound, please? Italy? Oh, Spain?
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
England.
England? Oh, Jesus Christ on a cracker. You must take me home.
My flat is hardly sufficient, my lord. We might squeeze.
To my home, imbecile! It is your duty as British gentlepeoples.
Well, he has a point.
Even if we could convince Captain Shuvalov to change course, how would we explain our failure to conduct our classes next week? Will Oxford grant you another month? I should certainly be sacked from Cambridge. I am truly sorry, my lord, but changing course is out of the question.
I say, Pointe, do take a moment to think it over.
Might I have a moment alone with Professor Pointe?
Unchaperoned?
Might I have a moment alone with Professor Pointe?
Back in a tick. I am rather thirsty.
So am I. Professor, do you know who I am?
Well, yes, I do.
And you know I could easily kill you.
I would regard that as ungentlemanly behavior. I apologize for my blunt remark.
Do you know your fate if I were to have you for supper?
I would become like you, sleeping by day in a coffin and rising at night to feed upon the blood of the living.
No, you would be dead. Where do you get that stuff? Could you walk into a gentleman's club in London and say, "Hello, I'm a member"? There is a ceremony. I would slice a vein in my breast, right here, and you would drink of my blood. Then, after you die, that is how you acquire my membership card. If I drink your blood, you are dead. That's it. Do you want to join me, Pointe? Is that what I can give you?
No, I must conclude my experiments with curds and whey.
Tell me, Professor. Tell me of your experiments.
I am concocting a new cheesy dish.
Cheesy dish, yes.
To pasteurize milk, I add bacterial culture and rennet. It clots the milk. It's the clotting that does it.
I adore clotting. Tell me more of this clotting.
This results in curds and whey, common enough actually, but if you cook it and separate the whey from the curds, the result is a new and delightful dish.
Delightful!
I shall call it cheese curds. Oh, what is happening to me?
It is an erection. Oh. Wait, is this the first time you've had an erection?
What is this damnable feeling?
Shh, Professor, think soft thoughts. Curds and whey. Curds and whey.
Curds and whey. Along came a spider. No offense, my lord. Has a decision been reached?
Shall I tell you the consequences of bringing me to England?
It's going away. It's going away, oh thank God.
What are the consequences, my lord?
It will be a plague, gentlemen. A plague of blood. A plague of like the which has been unknown since the Middle Ages.
I think you might be overestimating your plaguiness, Vasilica. Chumley?
Yes, a wee bit.
I shall be a pestilence upon your land. Thousands shall die, hundreds of thousands of Englishmen dead because of me. Women, children, the elderly. Ooh.
They've had their moment, haven't they?
Are you listening to me? If you could save one life now in front of you, would you do it?
Well,
Yes, I think
Yes.
so.
Over you go, sailor boy!
I
don't
say!
do that.
You'll see how easy that is. You can save a multitude of your countrymen by enduring a minor inconvenience. Well?
I think we must needs dissect your terminology. Minor inconvenience. What?
Quite. Returning you to Transylvania while adhering to the precepts of chivalry would not be a minor inconvenience. It would be very, 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 very inconvenient.
People will die! Can you be so blind? So foolish, so heartless?
Oh, yes,
Undoubtedly.
we
Yes.
can.
Very well, but this is not what I wanted.
Just like a woman.
Stubborn and unscientific until death.
After death.
After death, yes. All this nonsense. Thousands will die. Millions will die. Tommy rot. No one is going to die.
No one is going to die.
Vampir! 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 Vampir!